As a kid, growing up, my family just kind of like church was my foundation. That was like my first experiences as far as like music and stuff. So I always just wanted to play, you know, get a chance to play for offering or any part of the church service that I could. You know, I was just fighting, you know, sitting on the front row, you know, just trying to get my turn. You know, so that's pretty much how it started for me. When I was growing up, man, I know a lot of churches, and when I was coming up, it was like always like 4 or 5 drummers, and you know, everyone, you know, just waiting for the opportunity to get on there and shine. So, you know, for me, it was really about waiting my turn. I was so young, like a lot younger than the other cats, so I was pretty much last. Like I ended up playing mostly after church was over. You know, everybody's going home, and it was like, all right, Aaron, come on up and play. You know, that's kind of how it went down for me. But you know, but it's cool, man. Just paying my dues there. As I got older, then I started to kind of like, kind of get into more stuff. Like I would listen to a lot of different music, like the Winans or the Hawkins singers and the drummers that would play on those records, like Joe Smith and like Dana Davis and cats like that. I would try to kind of like mimic the stuff that I would hear them do. And my friends would come over and we'd all just kind of like try to play, you know, one at a time, you know, try to play the stuff that they would play. You know, playing there and, you know, in church and stuff, it's like, you know, your cues definitely come from, you know, whoever's in charge of the music, either the music director or the choir director, you know, whoever is in control of what's going on at that moment. So it's so important to be focused on what's going on and not too hype in what you're doing. Because if you are, then you're going to go down in flames. So when they call for the next part or we're coming out, it's like, you know, it's not a good look. And it's the same thing like now, like even here on the level that I'm playing on right now, like doing tours and stuff, you know, the main focus is the music director. You know, like you have to follow the music director and you have to follow the artist. You know, so it's like the artist is, a lot of stuff that I've been doing lately, like the Usher stuff, is pretty much sequenced. So it's like, you know, the artist is not doing a whole lot of additional extra stuff, but it's mainly focusing on the music director to say, yo, we're coming out of this part, or let's stay here a little longer, or, you know, whatever. You know, so it's pretty much like the whole church thing was just like kind of like training for this stuff that I'm doing now. You know, church now is progressed so much where you're actually playing with loops and sequences and stuff, you know, so it's like you got the sequence and then you got organist, a pianist, keyboard dude, bass, lead guitar. You know, it's like a full-on production nowadays. When I was coming up, it wasn't quite that big. It would be like bass player, organist, and a drummer. You know, but it was the same, just playing together as a unit was just, you know, like the foundation. It's just like the main thing, you know, just everybody just playing together. I got the Usher gig because one of my friends, Gerald Hayward, he was listening to a CD of me playing with this gospel band I play with back home called the Gideon Band from DC, and he just happened to be listening to it. And Usher's musical director, Valdez Brantley, came in and was like, "Yo, who was that? The band sounds hot. Who's the drummer?" You know, and they called me and asked me if I was interested in possibly coming to do the gig, and I was like, "No, man, never." Nah, I was like, definitely, you know, if it's you know, an opportunity, you know, if it's something I would love to, you know, have the opportunity to play at that level. You know, I've always wanted to be able to, you know, I know it's a lot of musicians' dream to kind of like be there, playing on the big stage in front of, you know, a couple thousand people, a few thousand, 10, 20, whatever. And, you know, I'm no different. You know, that's how it was for me playing in church. Was just like, it's awesome because I get to exercise my gift and I'm excited and, you know, it's great, but I always wanted more. So Usher was actually like the opportunity that actually it actually materialized, because I had other calls to do other things and it just never really happened, you know. But when Usher showed up, it was actually like a solid opportunity, and I couldn't ask for a better situation, because that's kind of what even brought me here. You know, got me I guess the recognition. A lot of people recognize me from the stuff that I did with him. You gotta do what the gig calls for. Usher's gig is more high energy gig where I'm able to play that stuff. American Idol is more structured where like I have to play what the music calls for. You know, I think that's something that a lot of cats these days, they just want to play what they want to play, but they're not really true to the music. And that's one thing I can say that I get from Teddy and from Gerald. They play their gig. They play what's called for their gig. And I remember watching Teddy play on a TV show, like 8 different genres, you know, just in one setting, and each one felt authentic. You know, so it's like it's important to me to establish that same authenticity to whatever it is that I'm playing. We're playing Styx, we're playing Uncle Kracker, Skinner, Beyonce, Gladys Knight, Whitney Houston. I mean, it's like it's whatever, you know. So it's crazy, you know. Queen. I mean, it's just we're playing a little bit of everything, you know. So I never want to be in a situation where I'm like down south and they're like, oh, that don't sound like no. That don't feel like you're the one that I want, or you know, that's not. You know, I want it to feel like it's supposed to feel. You know what I mean? It's so important to be able to play everything. You know, it just makes you a more well-rounded musician. I play Vic Firth 3As, and I play them because they feel good. I've played around with a lot of different drumsticks and stuff before. Like I like the 5As or 5A Extremes, and it took me a second to kind of settle into the 3As, but once I got there, it's like, for me, it's not any other stick that I want to play. It's just, the balance is great. It's got just the right weight for me because I play kind of hard. You know, it doesn't break like immediately, like, oh! And it's, you know, it's cool. So the 3A, that's what I'm gonna tell you. I know that, you know, the packaging is like, you know, it says like this pair is like perfectly matched or whatever, but for me, it's like, it doesn't matter if I take one from this, you know, from this pack or one from this pack. They all are very consistent. They all feel good to me together. Hey, this is Aaron Spears. You want a stick that's consistent, always feels good? Go with Vic.